was just thinking about it, guys. The last couple memories we did, I think the last 3 or 4, were actually cars I got for free. Absolutely nothing. What we're talking about this week, total opposite. It cost me a ton of money, and it kind of continued to cost me money, but it was something we needed to have. So, here's your Monday morning memory from Pugliese Speed Shop. Guys, we'll take a little walk over here to the book, and I figured we leave her open. It just makes it easier, you know. But give you a little zoom action here. Here is my 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 off-road package, and see, it's a house here in Carolina. Got some beaters in the background. Pretty clean interior. We had the weird little reflections in there, but this truck, guys, it was actually not even mine. It was Megan's, and we'll have to let's sit around and talk about it and explain to you how we got it and why it was so important. Yo, so you guys already know I gotta at least tell you like 1 or 2 stories to tell you this story. That's how it goes. All right. So a while back, imagine I had a Dodge Dakota, 97, white, super cool truck. I loved it. And then had a ton of miles on it. I did some adjustments on the transmission bands, and it was no good no more. It was, I mentioned in that video that I brought it back to Brandon's house because he lived across the street from a dealership. Adjusted the bands again, and I traded it in. But that wasn't like exactly how it went down. A lot of that happened. I didn't actually trade it in. Megan did. So she had the Explorer that was no longer with us. She was driving my Dakota, and I was driving the Grand Prix that I got for nothing from my father. Well, like I said, I was having some issues, and we saw this truck across the street. It was a little mom and pop dealership. It was like a little trailer. It's, you guys have seen them, right? Usually not the most upfront corporations, if you will. So we went over. We saw the truck. It was that bright blue color. Really stood out. Good looking truck. And Megan's like, I like it. So I was getting ready to go on deployment. I didn't see a need to buy her a vehicle and me a vehicle. That's why I was driving the Dakota. But I didn't want to leave her with the Dakota because things were not going well. So we decided we're going to buy this truck. So it's like 2 birds, 1 stone. Now I got a full-size truck I could pull a trailer with. Always going to have a truck. We had like 8 acres. We're always doing something in the yard. So good idea to have a truck. And I could continue to drive my beater. She has a reliable one. Life is great. So I want to say I was either on a boat dead or in Fallon, because either way I wasn't here. My father came down to visit. So he drove down there. And now he was in the car business for a ton of years. And I don't know why. If Megan would have waited an hour, he would have been there. And I mean, not that we wouldn't have bought the truck, but maybe it could help out a little bit. I don't know. We'll never know. But he gets there. Megan's got the new truck. I get home a couple hours later, and he's like, what's going on here? So we go look at the truck, and right, my old man had an eye for anything that was ever wrong. Usually something me and my brother did. But either way, he always had the eye for it. So he walks out, looks at his truck. In 3 seconds, he's like, what's up with that bumper? And I looked, and I was like, oh, man, he's right. It just a little bit kicked. Not terrible, just enough that it makes you wonder what it hit. right? So look at it, get underneath it, and everything looks okay. And Megan's like, well, it does pull a little bit, but they credited me to get an alignment done. And I said, well, that doesn't sound good. And sure enough, they credited her to get an alignment done because they didn't want to do the alignment because it wouldn't align. There was front end parts that were jacked up, and we fought that the whole time we had the truck. But the truck was really nice and had that factory off-road package. I love that. It came with like a stock 2-inch lift, I think. So if you just leveled it, you could feel like 35s. So I bought a leveling kit. Never bought the 35s, but it sat. The leveling kit was there waiting for me to get to it. Never happened. That's besides the point. I gave it to my buddy Bobby because he had the same truck. These trucks were pretty popular back, that time frame. When did we buy it? That was 2005, 6, right around there. So it was only a couple years old. Maybe had 40, 50,000 miles. It wasn't bad. The truck was super clean. Had the 318 four-wheel drive, and I'll tell you, it pulled way better than a 318 should have pulled. I kept thinking maybe it was a 360, but it wasn't. So we brought it to the place they told us to bring it to. They aligned it. It was good for a couple months, and then it wasn't. And we had it aligned again. Good for. It was the whole thing. So who did we? I think we just kept playing that game because I don't remember ever doing a whole repair because it was under warranty, and they just kept doing it. They just aligned it again under warranty. I was like, whatever. We that was our main main mode of transportation. Andrew was smaller, so the back seat was plenty big, and it was a comfortable truck. We took it out to PA all the time. See my parents and everything. It was great. Never had issues. Never lets us abandoned nowhere. That's, for me, if I have a vehicle and it never leaves me on the side of the road, that's a good vehicle. It was 2000, I came off the 2006 Cruise. That's what it was, off the Mighty Enterprise. And we decided to take a trip. I was going to buy a car in Texas. And this was a thing I looked at for a while. We're going to talk about it like on the next Tuesday morning. No, this is Tuesday morning tech tip. On the next Monday morning memory. So I don't want to give too much away, but me, Jimbo, and the kid jumped in this truck, put my car trailer on it, and we shot to Texas. I took a long weekend. Pretty sure I told my chief I was going to Tennessee because that was like the cutoff before you had to take leave. And it took a 4-day weekend. We went out there. We drove through the night, and we were getting it. And Andrew was 6 years old. He kind of remembers the trip still. But we were driving out there, and Jimbo said, yeah, we'll share the driving. We're in Mississippi somewhere. And I'm like, yo, Jimbo, I'm getting a little tired, man. You want to take over? And he says, well, I don't know, man. What is that in front of us? Is that a truck or is that a Pepsi machine? I said, well, there's absolutely nothing in front of us, so I'll continue to drive. We went and got a room, maybe about an hour outside of where we had to go in Texas. No problems. Picked the car up. Everything's good to go. Start heading back, and we hit a steakhouse in Texas. And the kid's like, I want a steak. I'm like, yeah, that's it. So it was attached. Kind of weird, I guess, if you think about it. But you see this a lot. It was attached to like a farm. Like you could see the cows off in the pasture. And, I didn't get to pick out the one I ate, nothing. But I remember Jimbo's like, the guy, the waiter comes over. And Jimbo's like, he asked him, how's the steak? It's great. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of hard to get a good steak around here. So we laugh because we thought he's being serious, right? I'm like, this thing was mooing like 30 minutes ago. But it was great. We had a great night. Where did we stay? We crashed out somewhere. We had a room that night again, Mississippi again, I think. And then we pushed through the next day to get home. I remember we were coming up in of 95 to well, you guys saw my when we did the truck there, the OBS recently, south of the border. Man, I could not think of that. So we pull in there. It's like 11 o'clock at night. We had to wake the kid up. I can't find a picture. I wish I could, but we put him. We like stuck him up. They sit on this like little. They had little statues of, animals and stuff outside. They were like, sit on here. We're gonna take a picture. This kid is falling asleep. He goes into the gift shop and says, "Can I pick something? Yeah, pick something out, buddy. You've been a good sport." He picks out a slingshot. So I said, "You know what? Just don't hit any of my cars, and we're good." I don't know if he still got it, but he never hit any of my cars, so that was good. Made it home. Everything was good. I did get caught because I was showing pictures of the car, and my chief was like, "That's got Texas plates on. I think he went to Tennessee." I said, "Oh yeah, the guy met me there." He didn't buy that one, but if I had that Dakota, I never would have made that. If Megan had the Explorer still, they wouldn't have pulled the car as good. So definitely a good thing we had that truck. I remember specifically being at my buddy Brandon's wedding, and the AC quit working, and we're in North Carolina. Just need to be charged, but I had the girls in the car, the hair were all done. It was an ordeal. So then it started pulling again, and I was like, all right, this is crazy. I get under it, and you can actually see where some stuff was tweaked, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember me and Casey got under there, and we put like a peen mark in every part that was jacked up. I take it in, warranty work again. They tell me, you know what, you're right, that's messed up. We're going to change everything. They tell me that it's changed. I go to pick the car up. I get underneath it. Well, the truck. My marks are still there. I could have just grabbed this, So they end up getting the managers involved, the owner or whatever, and we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. They give Megan like a Nissan Altima or something. Like, here, drive this for like however long. So they had the truck for a while, like a week or two. They tell her to come get it. She gets there. I'm in Fallon for this. I remember this. She goes to get it, and they tell her that they got a box full of parts of all the stuff that and the marks were on them. She knew what she was looking for. And they're like, yeah, we couldn't get the stuff off. We had to heat all this stuff up, and they did all this kind of wild shit. And they didn't replace everything. They heated up, which that concerned me. She didn't like the guy's attitude. She called me. I talked to him. He said some words. Things got a little not great. So she ends up leaving with the truck. We don't trust it for a second at this point in the game. And gas prices went like through the roof. And we said, you know what? I think this truck has been with us as long as it can. And it wasn't very long. We usually keep vehicles for a little bit of time. But we only had this one 2 years. Yeah. Yeah, we bought it 05-ish. 05, 06. I think 05. Yeah. And got rid of it in 07. So didn't have it that long, but we had a great road trip in it. And like I said, that thing pulled that car like it was his job to do it. Because it was. 2001 Dodge, not the only Dodge Ram I've ever had. And way before they started that rebranding thing with the Ram. That's just, ugh. Thanks for watching, guys.